Good evening, and welcome to the Whitewater Wind Down. I'm Ashley Carroll, alongside Grace Caputo.
Well, Ashley, this is your first time on the Wind Down, so welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a freshman here at UW-Whitewater, and I'm super excited to be on the show. I'm a film major and a theater minor.
Oh, awesome. I'm very happy to have you. Well, noting that it is International Women's Day on March 8th, who are some women in your life that inspire you?
Definitely my grandmother. She's such a fun person. I love going to antique shops with her, and she just kind of has that carefree attitude. You ask her, why did you do this? She'll be like, why not? And I think that's a perfect answer.
That's awesome. I would definitely say my grandmother as well. I feel I get a lot of my creativity from her, and especially my mom. She is like the strongest woman I know. So shout out to you, Mom.
I would agree. I also love my mom, and she just has taught me to be a kind person and to look at the positive side of things.
Of course. And also noting that we're both film majors, I would say women in film, shout out to us, going out here in what's typically a men's job. So shout out to all the women in film. Did you have any personal goals for 2025? How is that going for you?
My biggest personal goal was to stop procrastinating. I kind of have a procrastination problem. Maybe not doing papers the night before they're due.
Yeah, totally. I would say for me it was getting up earlier. I don't know how much that's gone well for me, so we'll keep trugging along and see how well that keeps going. So noting that it's feeling like spring outside, what is your opinion on big spring cleanings?
I actually kind of did one yesterday. My room doesn't really get too messy, but I kind of organized stuff, made it look a little nicer, put some new posters up in my room.
Oh, that's awesome. I would agree. I find myself reaching for Clorox wipes and everything whenever I get the chance. Usually vacuuming as well. I don't know about you, the vacuum at my dorm is it's old.
The vacuums at my dorm are old too.
Yeah. So I bought one of my own just for the sake of it, because I was like, there's
the
no
vacuums
way.
at good old Wells West are not great.
Same at Lee, they're not as good. All right, well, we'll be back with more on the Whitewater Wind Down after this.
What does it mean to be a war hawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a war hawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the war hawk way.
She's always had it. Pure ambition. An unbridled self-confidence that most people only dream of. You see it driving her, empowering her, and in time, you see it fueling her future. Perhaps even helping her blaze a new trail. All she needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities. Unlimited opportunity.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
This Sunday, March 9th, is Daylight Savings Day. Our clocks will be set forward an hour.
Daylight saving time was first proposed by Benjamin Franklin in 1784, although it wasn't widely adopted until after World War I.
The main goal of daylight saving time is to make better use of daylight during the long days of spring and summer by giving people more daylight in the evening and less in the morning.
The phrase spring forward, fall back helps people remember that the clocks go forward 1 hour in March and go back 1 hour in November.
Daylight savings can be a controversial topic among a lot of people. Some argue that daylight savings no longer makes sense for society. President Donald Trump has mentioned that he wants to abolish daylight savings.
The potential abolishment of daylight saving could drastically change our everyday lives depending on whether we stop the rotation in spring or fall. Let's see how the students here at Whitewater feel about daylight savings.
Losing an hour's sleep can be tough at times because, like you usually, especially us as college students, we need as much sleep as we usually can because we usually stay up later.
I just don't understand the point. It's just kind of silly in my opinion. I don't know. I know it's for the farmers, but for everyday people, it's kind of silly.
For me, I'm an athlete, so I kind of need that extra hour of sleep, but also we get more daytime, so that's better. I don't like coming out of class at 6 o'clock and it's dark outside.
I think we've kind of grown past that, especially with jobs being different across all different spectrums.
I more care about the fact that it's so depressing during the winter when it's really, really dark at 4 o'clock. I think, just get rid of it.
I don't really know when it happens. All my clocks change automatically.
Usually I forget about it like I did this time, and so it just makes me really upset, especially because, it's always on Sundays. So it's always an important day to sleep in, so losing that hour kind of sucks.
At the end of the day, it's basically about can you overcome and can you overtap those time changes.
Stay tuned for more on the Whitewater Wind Down after this.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a war hawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a war hawk.
At UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
Welcome to the Whitewater Forensics team, where we ignite voices and foster connections. With 3 to 4 hours of practice weekly, we embark on a journey of self-discovery and growth. From energizing warm-ups to passionate storytelling, we build confidence in creativity. Join our close-knit team, conquer public speaking fears, and advocate for your story. With over 100 awards annually, become part of a community where every voice matters.
Welcome to the world today on UWW-TV. I'm Leran Grechevs alongside Vipa Verghese. Now here's what's happening around the world.
A rapidly spreading outbreak of measles in Texas has killed one person, marking the first mortality from the disease in the US in a decade. Many people under the age of 17 who are unvaccinated are being diagnosed. The CDC states the current outbreak is centered in Northwest Texas. And we'll have more of the world today after a quick break.
The Pope has experienced health complications over the past week, including difficulty breathing and needing blood transfusions. Catholics all over the globe have been praying for the 88-year-old's health and recovery. At the time of press, his doctors said his condition has been improving.
After an electricity transmission line failed, over 8 million households and businesses were left without electricity in Chile. In the capital, Santiago, the entire underground train system was suspended almost immediately, leaving thousands of people to evacuate and wait for metro buses or walk to their destinations.
Gunfire and explosions have ripped through a rally held by rebel leaders in Bukavu, the second biggest city in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. This was the first rally that the Rwanda-backed rebels were holding in the city since taking it from government forces earlier this year. Casualty figures are unclear at this time.
Aerial footage captures the scale and destruction of a forest fire burning in northern Japan. The blaze has destroyed more than 80 buildings and forced about 2,000 residents to evacuate as military helicopters have been deployed to help extinguish the fire. Local officials blame the unusual dry winter and strong winds.
And we'll have more of The World Today after a quick break.
Bonsoir à tous. Hola. Hej, hur är läget?
Marhaba.
Ni hao. Konnichiwa.
UW Whitewater International Student Association is a student organization brings both international students and national students together to share their cultural experience and beliefs. The ISA also collaborates with other student organizations in UW Whitewater. The International Dinner is one of the most unique events that ISA have for every spring semester, which serves all kinds of foods from different countries, and it invites students to show their talent on the dinner. So what are you waiting for? Come join the ISA today.
We are
ISA.
With the help of a tea strainer, peanut butter, and oats, a tiny rare native mouse has been rediscovered in part of the National Parks and Wildlife Service in Blue Mountains, Australia. For the first time in 2 decades, ecologist Vera Wong says she was thrilled to find one of the country's smallest mammals sniffing at the food.
For more updates, check us out at uwwtv.org. I'm Vibha Verghese alongside Blair on Dry Chef C. And this has been The World Today on UWW-TV.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
It's always been there, his love of the outdoors. Some days, you wonder if it might be his calling. Truth is, you know that the things he's passionate about today will build the foundation of what he does tomorrow, and possibly inspire a new journey. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Welcome to This Week in Wisconsin History. This week, we'll be covering the catastrophic 1904 fire that gutted Wisconsin's third state capital. On February 27th, 1904, around 2:30 a.m., a night watchman discovered a small fire burning in a second-floor cloakroom of the West Wing. It appeared that the flame from a gas jet used for late-night lighting had ignited the freshly varnished ceiling of the closet. After numerous unsuccessful attempts to extinguish the blaze, the watchman sounded the alarm. The Capitol's highly advanced sprinkler system, combined with the swift arrival of Madison's firefighting force, should have been more than enough to contain the flames. However, the water reservoir intended for that exact purpose had just been recently drained, resulting in a critical lack of water pressure and time needed to prevent the fire from rapidly spreading out of control. Milwaukee and Janesville's fire departments were dispatched for help, but discovered both of their water supplies had frozen on the way to the scene in the 16-degree weather. Around 4 a.m., Governor Robert La Follette was awoken and alerted to the nearby inferno beginning to envelop the Capitol. La Follette immediately rushed to the scene and ran straight into the building, leading the effort of local volunteers saving furniture, documents, paintings, and books from the encroaching flames. UW students were specifically credited with saving the Capitol's extensive law library, achieved by tossing books out of windows and organizing them in the snowbanks. After running in and out of the burning building for 3 hours, wading through ankle-deep water and slush, a drenched La Follette was eventually dragged from the scene by a local doctor in order to go home. But, true to his name, Fighting Bob was back within the hour, wearing dry clothes and taking charge of the rescue effort once again. Firefighters continued to battle the inferno for over 18 hours. By the time the flames were extinguished, only the north wing and parts of the south wing and rotunda remained intact. The total damage was estimated at nearly $1 million, including losses of all records from the Spanish-American and Civil Wars, as well as the stuffed remains of Wisconsin's famous Civil War eagle, Old Abe. Fortunately, no lives were lost, and many other important relics and documents were saved by brave volunteers and Governor La Follette himself. Reconstruction of the Capitol began in 1906 and was completed in 1917. That same Capitol building remains standing today, more than 100 years later. And that's what happened this week in Wisconsin history.
A free public lecture will be held in Highland Hall's Timmerman Auditorium that will be presented by Dr. Rebecca Tausig, who acts as a disability advocate, an educator, and even a best-selling author of her book Sitting Pretty, The View from My Ordinary, Resilient, Disabled Body.
The Americans with Disabilities Act helps protect people with disabilities. One example that has made a big difference in how buildings and spaces are designed. However, those with disabilities still have a harder time going to college and getting a job. Many businesses, schools, and homes aren't designed to be accessible for people with disabilities.
As we celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, she will help offer a hopeful vision for a future that ensures more access for everyone.
If you are interested, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity on Tuesday, March 11th at 6 p.m. We will be right back with more on the Whitewater Wind Down.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
That was Alex DeLeo with So We Go Here
On 91.7 The Edge, your station for sports, news, and of course, music. With our extensive music library of alternative, rock, and hip-hop. All for you, all right here on 91.7 The Edge.
The UW Whitewater Bookstore is your one-stop shop for apparel, textbooks, and technology. Stop in for a wide selection of gifts from our alumni, family, and name brand sections. Need to purchase or rent a textbook? Head downstairs to Textbook Services. Check out our new custom shop and create personalized apparel for your organization. Need a charger, laptop, or headphones? Our new technology section has everything you might need. For more information and bookstore hours, visit uwwhitewaterbookstore.com.
Hello, welcome to Being Sensible, the show where money talks. My name is Ron Hoke, and today we're going to go over budgeting. If you're watching the show, you are probably spending some amount of money on something. Whether it's a mortgage, rent, or tuition, whether it's groceries or a meal plan, odds are you're spending money. Have you ever wondered exactly how much you're spending though? Have you ever wondered how you can spend money more efficiently and actually even save money? That's what a budget is for. Budgeting can help you spend less, be more aware of where your money is going, and help you save for the future. So come with me as we build a better budget. First of all, what is a budget? A budget is a plan that tracks your money. It can keep track of the money that you're earning and allocate it towards different expenses like bills and food. Good budgets also help you save money by putting a portion of your income away to save for bigger purchases or to save for a rainy day. There are many different types and formats of budgets, but all of them are based on your income, fulfilling the things you need and aiming for things that you want. But why budget? The biggest benefits of a budget are information and confidence. Money can be a stressful subject, and with bills to pay, groceries to buy, and all sorts of other expenses, you can get overwhelmed fast. Budgets help you understand how much money you have to spend, how much money needs to go towards those expenses, and how much money is left over to save and use for fun. A good budget can help you take control of your finances and reduce stress over what you need to pay for. For more information and advice on budgeting, we spoke to Riley Ferguson, a senior financial specialist at UW Credit Union.
Budgeting is a really crucial tool to be able to help manage your overall financial health. So my personal preference is just opening up an Excel file and listing my expenses from the most expensive item all the way down to the thing that I maybe forgot that I'm paying on a monthly basis, such as a Netflix subscription. There are some apps out there, or your bank or credit union might give you some more advanced tools to help with that process. Sometimes when you're looking at your budget, you might be afraid to do so, to uncover what's out there. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to keep spending the same amount of money the next month. So in my preference and my recommendation is to figure out where those funds are going.
Thanks, Riley. There are many different ways to budget, but which one is right for you? You can make a budget using a website, app, or computer program that will automate all the math for you. Or you can make a budget yourself using a spreadsheet. You can even do it the old-fashioned way of tracking your expenses in a ledger with a good old-fashioned pen and paper, Regardless of what method you use for budgeting, a good rule of thumb on how to use your money is by following the 50-30-20 rule. The 50-30-20 rule says that you should be using 50% of your income on things you need, like bills or groceries, 30% of your income on things you want, like entertainment or going out to eat, and 20% of your income on savings by putting away for a rainy day. Of course, you can adjust this depending on your needs, but the 50-30-20 rule is a great place to start. And there you have it. Now you have all the necessary information to start budgeting your money. Thanks to our tips, you can build a better budget and make the most of your monthly income. For UWW-TV, I'm Ron Hoke, and this has been Being Sensible.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a war hawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a war hawk
at UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
Video One Media Services provides accomplished students the opportunity to enhance their college experience by working with real-world clients. In addition, we provide clients local and affordable video options to better enhance their media needs. For more information on how Video One Media Services can help you with your next media project, email or call our office at 262-472-5659.
You can see it. His potential, that is. You see it even when he may not. You see that the things that spark his interest today will in time ignite the things he pursues tomorrow. And ultimately, help him reach new heights. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Welcome back to the Whitewater Wind Down.
Well, Ashley, are there any clubs or anything that you've been looking forward to on campus?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my film club. It's a super cool club on campus here, and it's every other Monday, and we get to watch some really cool films and have nice discussions about them.
I should honestly start showing up and join since I'm also a film major. I'm definitely looking forward to the NCAA women's basketball tournament that's coming up this weekend, so that should be really fun. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there anything here that you love but feel like isn't taken advantage enough here?
I would say the library. I don't take advantage of it enough myself. It's just a very nice place to study, and whenever I go, I feel like I always get a lot done, and there's no distractions from inside my dorm room.
Definitely.
My bed's there, and it's staring at me, and I really want to get in bed. So.
My bed, you know, I have so much, it's a lot of distraction, and in the library, you know, you don't have that. And they have a lot of cool services there, like their private study rooms and pet therapy.
Oh my
I love going to pet therapy and seeing the dogs.
I agree. They're just so cute and fun to pet, and it's just a very relaxing environment, which is super nice.
Their owners are super fun and cool to talk to. They're very interesting people.
No, I agree. Are there any study spots besides the library that you like to utilize?
I guess I'm also a big fan of the Highland Study Lounge.
Ooh, I'll have to try that out. I actually haven't been there, so it should be pretty nice. Well, it looks like that is all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Whitewater Wind Down. We'll see you next week for more news, entertainment, and sports. Have a great weekend and stay tuned to UWW TV.